You wake up feeling heavy. Again, your belly feels like it's carrying yesterday's dinner. Your clothes are tighter, and the scale hasn't budged in weeks even though you're eating healthy. So you double down on fiber cereal, sprinkle bran on yogurt, and trade white bread for whole wheat. You even brag about how clean your diet is. But nothing changes. In fact, you feel more bloated, more gassy, and more constipated than before. By mid-afternoon, your stomach looks 6 months pregnant. And by bedtime, you convince yourself that something is wrong with your body. What if the problem isn't your colon at all? What if it's the healthy food hiding in plain sight? Foods that actually worsen constipation for millions of people every single day. Welcome to Constipation Health. Today, we're exposing the 5 foods that secretly sabotage your bowels and explaining why eliminating or swapping just these items can lead to smoother, more predictable bathroom trips in as little as 7 days. But before we reveal the first culprit, we need to bust the biggest myth that keeps people stuck on the fiber hamster wheel. Myth number 1, more fiber fixes everything. Fiber is important. We all know that. But piling on dry, water-stripping fibers can actually backfire when you're dehydrated. Fiber absorbs water. If you don't drink enough, it turns your colon into concrete. Your gut bacteria are out of balance. Certain fibers ferment into gas if your microbiome lacks the right strains. Suddenly, that heart-healthy bran muffin becomes a bloat bomb. You have slow motility. Thick, bulky fiber needs strong peristaltic waves to move. If your gut is sluggish, the mass sits there, pulling even more water out of stool. So yes, fiber can help, but only the right type in the right amount with the right hydration. Otherwise, it's like pouring sand into an already clogged pipe. Myth number 2, if it's low fat and whole grain, it's good for digestion. Food marketers love slapping labels like whole grain, high fiber, or low fat on boxes. But low fat often means higher sugar. Whole grain often means ultra-processed. And high-fiber breakfast biscuits can be laced with gut-irritating gums, artificial sweeteners, and dry bran fragments that feel like steel wool in an already inflamed colon. In short, healthy on the label doesn't always mean healthy for your gut. The real fix: remove, rehydrate, rebalance. Instead of adding endless supplements, let's remove what's blocking you. In the next few minutes, you'll discover food number 5, a breakfast staple praised by doctors that actually dries and scratches your colon. Food number 4, a fruit that's healthy when ripe, but a constipation nightmare when eaten green. Food number 3, a comfort category millions consume daily, unaware it slows gut nerves to a crawl. Food number 2, snack foods that slip under the radar but cripple peristalsis within hours. Food number 1, the sugar-free treat hiding in purses and office drawers that causes rebound constipation, worse than the sugar it replaced. Cutting these 5 doesn't require extreme diets or expensive detox kits. You simply stop sabotaging your colon and let it do what it was designed to do: move. Why this matters more than you think. Chronic constipation isn't just uncomfortable, it's toxic. When stool sits in the colon longer than 24 to 48 hours, toxins reabsorb into your bloodstream, making your liver work overtime. Inflammation rises, worsening joint pain, skin issues, and even depression. Hormone balance suffers because excess estrogen and cortisol aren't excreted. Weight loss stalls due to slowed metabolism and increased water retention. Fixing constipation isn't about vanity. It's foundational to energy, mood, immunity, and long-term health. Quick self-check. Are these red flags familiar? You haven't passed a smooth, log-shaped stool Bristol 4 in over 3 days. You rely on coffee, laxative teas, or fiber pills just to go. Your belly feels tight or painful by evening, no matter what you ate. You experience headaches or brain fog that lifts slightly after finally having a bowel movement. If any of those sound like you, chances are 1 or more of the 5 foods we're about to expose are part of your daily diet. What to expect from this video: fast, actionable swaps. We're not leaving you foodless. Every bad food comes with a gut-friendly alternative you can start tomorrow: digestible science. You'll learn the exact mechanism, whether it's dehydration, resistant starch overload, or enteric nerve suppression, without needing a PhD. A 7-day challenge. At the end, You'll get a printable checklist to track your Bristol scores and bloating. By next week, if you follow the swaps, you should experience softer, more frequent stools, reduced bloating by up to 2 inches off the waistline, more stable energy and fewer sugar cravings, a lighter, clearer mindset every morning. Food number 5, high-brand breakfast cereals. Why they seem healthy. The box screams heart healthy, 12G fiber per serving. Whole grain goodness. Doctors and dietitians have drilled into us that fiber equals regularity, so we pour an extra large bowl, splash on skim milk, and feel virtuous. Why they wreck your gut. That fiber is almost 100% insoluble wheat bran, dry, scratchy, hydrophobic. Insoluble bran adds bulk by scraping along the intestinal wall like tiny wood shavings. It demands water to soften, but most people chase cereal with coffee, not water. Result: the bran swells a little, then sucks moisture from stool as it travels. Your colon, desperate to reclaim water, absorbs even more, turning stool into hard pellets. Bran's sharp edges can irritate an already inflamed gut lining, triggering microinflammation that slows peristalsis. Add lactose intolerance from milk, and you build a perfect storm of gas, cramps, and dry constipation. Science snapshot. In a controlled crossover trial, IBS-C patients fed 12G wheat bran daily experienced less stool frequency and more bloating than those fed 7G psyllium, a gel-forming soluble fiber. Cologne biopsy showed elevated inflammatory markers after just 2 weeks on high bran. Swap it, don't suffer. Overnight oats, half a cup rolled oats, 3/4 cup kefir, soaked, deliver beta-glucan gel that holds water. Chia pudding parfait, 2 tablespoon chia plus almond milk. Hydrates rather than dehydrates. Need crunch? Toasted oat bran granola bound with honey and coconut oil provides soluble plus insoluble balance without razor-sharp wheat husks. Upgrade rule. If a cereal needs more than 250 milliliters additional water to feel moist, skip it. Food number 4, unripe green, bananas. Why they seem healthy. Bananas are potassium superstars, portable, inexpensive. Social media hypes green bananas as resistant starch kings that feed good bacteria. True, if your microbiome is strong and your motility brisk. For constipated guts, they're often the kiss of stagnation. Why they stall you. Green bananas are loaded with resistant starch type 2, tightly packed granules humans can't digest. Resistant starch can be wonderful. Gut microbes ferment it into butyrate. But fermentation is slow, in a sluggish colon. The starch sits unfermented, absorbing water yet not softening stool. It also thickens like potato starch, increasing fecal bulk without lubrication. Worse, unripe bananas contain tannins and amylase inhibitors, compounds that further slow carb breakdown. The tannins act as mild astringents, tightening intestinal tissue and impeding motility. Net effect: bigger, drier, harder to move stool. Science snapshot. When researchers fed constipated volunteers a 300 G daily dose of green banana puree, stool frequency dropped from 4.5 to 3 times a week and abdominal pain increased. Switching to ripe banana reversed the slowdown in under 5 days. How to tell if your banana is a blocker. Green peel, hard texture. Chalky taste equals constipation risk. Yellow peel with brown freckles. Sweet aroma equals mostly digested starch converted to soluble pectin. Safe for sluggish guts. Smart swaps. Ripe banana blitzed into a kefir smoothie. Still give potassium and prebiotic pectin. Steamed green plantain, then cool, becomes resistant starch type 3. Easier to ferment slowly overnight rather than clogging daytime transit. Craving unripe banana benefits? Use green banana flour 1 tablespoon, baked into muffins. Heat partially gelatinize the starch, reducing constipating impact. Upgrade rule. If your banana bends easily and smells sweet, eat. If it makes a snapping sound when peeled, let it ripen or cook it first. Key takeaways so far. Fiber quality, quantity. Dry insoluble bran minus water equals colon sandpaper. Resistant starch isn't magic if your transit is already resistant to movement. Hydration and soluble gel fibers. Oats, chia, pectin, Beat sharp husks and raw starch every time. Food number 3. Excess dairy. Casein cloggers and lactose bloaters. Why it looks innocent. Milk, cheese, yogurt. Dietitians tout dairy for calcium and protein. Commercials show smiling families pouring low-fat milk over cereal. But if your bowels are already sluggish, dairy can shift from wholesome to constipation time bomb in one breakfast. The twin problems inside dairy. Casein curds. Cow's milk is 80% casein, a slow-digesting protein that coagulates in the acidic stomach into rubbery clumps. Those curds move slowly through the small intestine, acting like tiny speed bumps that delay everything behind them. Casein also releases a peptide called beta-casomorphin 7, which binds to mu-opioid receptors in the gut wall. Opioids, even dietary ones, calm nerve firing and slow peristalsis, exactly what a constipated colon doesn't need. Lactose load. Up to 70% of adults worldwide have reduced lactase enzyme. Undigested lactose reaches the colon, where bacteria ferment it into hydrogen gas and organic acids. Gas causes distension. Distension can either trigger cramps or, ironically, slow motility if the bowel reflex shuts down from discomfort. The acids draw water into the lumen at first, loose stool, but prolonged fermentation leads to dehydration and harder stool fragments farther down. Science snapshot. In a cohort of adults with functional constipation, removing all dairy for 2 weeks resulted in a 61% drop in straining scores and a 44% rise in weekly bowel movements. Stool tests showed reduced beta-casomorphin levels, suggesting casein peptides were indeed slowing nerves. Sneaky dairy traps. Protein shakes built on whey/casein blends, marketed as muscle fuel but pack 30 g casein per scoop. Low-fat cheese sticks that replace fat with extra milk solids. Probiotic yogurt sweetened with sugar alcohols. Double gut trouble, lactose plus sorbitol. Smarter swaps. Kefir or lactose-free yogurt. 16 to 20H fermentation digests lactose, breaks curd structure, and supplies living cultures that produce motility-boosting butyrate. Calcium from greens or sardines, spinach, kale. Canned sardines with bones provide absorption-ready calcium minus sluggish proteins. Plant milks fortified with calcium citrate. Won't clog and often come with prebiotic fibers. Reality check. You don't have to be 100% dairy-free forever. Many constipated viewers report major relief after a simple 14-day dairy holiday, then reintroduce a serving of aged cheese or kefir a few times a week with zero issues. Listen to your gut. It will tell you when the traffic jam returns. Food number 2, fried and ultra-processed snacks. Trans fat tormentors. The comfort illusion. A handful of chips, a buttery croissant, a quick drive-through hash brown. Little indulgences to hold you over until the next meal. They taste good, travel well, and are everywhere. Yet for your intestines, they're like pouring glue into the gears. Why they cripple motility. Trans fats numb nerves. Partially hydrogenated oils. Even zero trans labels allow up to 0.5 g per serving, integrating to cell membranes of enteric neurons, altering ion channels and reducing nerve excitability. When gut nerves go numb, the peristaltic wave weakens. Laboratory studies show rats fed trans fatty acid diets had 33% slower intestinal transit after 4 weeks compared to controls. Oxidized omega-6 oils inflame the lining. Frying oil reused in commercial deep fat fryers forms aldehydes and polar compounds. These irritants trigger low-grade inflammation, thickening the mucus layer and reducing its slipperiness. Stool meets more friction, so the colon must push harder or not at all. Refined starch plus no water. Most snacks are dry and devoid of soluble fiber. They absorb moisture from chyme, enlarge, then sit heavy in the cecum like damp cardboard. Acrylamide in ages. High-temperature browning creates acrylamide and advanced glycation end products. Both have been linked to impaired gut barrier function and slowed transit in animal models. Science snapshot. A Mediterranean diet intervention study found that simply replacing all fried/processed snacks with raw nuts and fresh fruit improved bowel frequency by 37% in constipated adults, without changing total fiber grams. The difference? Healthy fats and water content instead of trans fats and dehydration. Everyday offenders. Potato chips, tortilla chips, cracker mixes, donuts, crescent rolls, toaster pastries. Fast food hash browns, fried chicken tenders. Baked veggie chips still made with oxidized seed oils. Microwave popcorn bags lined with PFAS chemicals. Endocrine disruptors that also slow motility. Gut-friendly replacements. Air pop popcorn tossed with olive oil and sea salt. Whole grain crunch polyphenol, zero trans fat. Roasted chickpeas seasoned with turmeric. Protein, soluble fiber, and anti-inflammatory spice. Raw almonds or walnuts. Healthy fats that actually stimulate bowel flow. Lubricating stool. Dehydrated fruit slices, mango, apple, with no added sugar. Provide pectin and natural sorbitol for hydration. Practical tip. If life forces you to eat fried food, pair it with a large glass of water and a side of fresh salad dressed in extra virgin olive oil. The fluid and soluble fiber plus olive oil biostimulation help counteract some of the drying, nerve-numbing effects. Mid-series checkpoint. So far you've evicted. High-brand cereals, scratching your colon. Green bananas thickening without lubricating. Excess dairy numbing nerves and clumping into curds. Fried/processed snacks, coating your gut with inflammatory trans fats. Each elimination is a piece of the puzzle. Remove 2 or 3, and you might feel 30% lighter. Ditch all 4, and you could see a complete shift in bowel rhythm within 72 hours, provided you hydrate and move daily. Food number 1, sugar-free candies and gums. The polyol paradox. Why they look healthy. Packages flaunt zero sugar, keto-friendly, diabetic safe. You pop a few mints of freshen breath after lunch, chew gum during Zoom calls, or suck on a harmless lozenge when cravings hit. No sugar, no calories. What could go wrong? Why they ruin regularity. Most sugar-free sweets are loaded with polyols, sorbitol, maltitol, mannitol, xylitol, isomalt. Polyols are large sugar alcohol molecules poorly absorbed in the small intestine. They travel almost intact to colon, pulling water with them, osmotic effect, and feeding gas-producing bacteria. Small doses may cause a mild laxative response, but in people with slow motility, the story flips. Water is drawn into the small intestine, leaving the colon dehydrated. Meanwhile, partially fermented polyols create methane, a gas shown to slow peristalsis even further. The result? Hard, dry stool that refuses to move, followed later by unpredictable loose output when fermentation finally catches up. Rebound constipation cycle. Chew gum, mild osmotic pull. Cologne dries out, stool hardens. Straining increases, hemorrhoids flare. More gum to cope with stress, cycle restarts. Scientific snapshot. A landmark paper in Gut documented teenagers who consumed up to 20 pieces of sorbitol-sweetened gum per day. They reported severe abdominal pain, chronic constipation punctuated by sudden watery stool, and weight loss. Symptoms resolved completely after discontinuing sorbitol. Even as little as 10 g sorbitol, roughly 5 to 7 sugar-free candies, has been shown to cut colon motility speed by 40% in methane-dominant individuals. Hidden polyol sources, protein or keto bars, cough syrups, throat lozenges, flavored electrolyte powders, tooth whitening gum sticks, low-carb ice creams. If the ingredients list ends in it'll, beware, constipation-safe swaps. Stevia or monk fruit sweetened mints, no polyols. 99% dark chocolate shards, rich in magnesium, low sugar. Fresh peppermint leaves, or a single clove for natural breath freshening. Homemade electrolyte water with citrus and a pinch of salt. No artificial sweeteners. Full recap. The 5 constipation culprits you must ditch. High-brand breakfast cereals. Dry, scratchy and soluble fiber that dehydrates stool. Unripe green bananas. Resistant starch type too thickens content without lubrication. Excess dairy, casein curds, and lactose bloat slow gut nerves. Fried and ultra-processed snacks. Trans fats numb peristalsis. Oxidized oils inflame lining. Sugar-free candy/gums, polyols. Osmotic water pull plus methane gas equals rebound constipation. Each food alone is bad. Together they build a constipation super team, drying, slowing, inflaming, and dehydrating your colon every single day. The 7-day Stop, Swap, and Flow Challenge. Goal: eliminate all 5 offenders, replace them with gut-friendly alternatives, and record measurable change. Day 1 to 2. Clear pantry of brand cereal and fried snacks. Swap breakfast for overnight oats or chia pudding. Hydrate: 500 milliliters water within 30 minutes of waking. Day 3 to 4. Replace dairy with kefir or almond milk. Choose ripe bananas or berries for fruit cravings. Snack on raw almonds or air pop popcorn. Day 5. Go 100% polyol-free. Ditch sugar-free gum. Use stevia mints. Add 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed to lunch salad for gentle gel fiber. Day 6. Cook at home only. No fried takeout. Use olive oil to sauté. Drink the papaya ginger tonic from earlier videos on an empty stomach. Day 7. Assessment day. Log Bristol stool score, straining level 0 to 10, and waist circumference on waking. Compared day 1 notes. Most challengers see +2 to 3 bowel movements per week. Stool form shift toward type 4. 1 to 2 centimeters waist reduction in bloat. Noticeably lighter mood and energy. Metrics to track: stool frequency, time/week. Bristol score, target equals 4. Strain score 0 to 10. Bloat measurement, belt notch or tape at navel. Energy rating, 1 equals zombie, 10 equals vibrant. Chart them daily. Progress becomes motivation. What if progress is slow? Hydrate more. Each gram of fiber needs greater than or equal to 15 milliliters water. Move after meals. 10 squats or a 5-minute walk doubles gastrocolic strength. Deep belly breathing. 2 minutes calms a fight or flight. State strangling your gut nerves. Check meds. Calcium channel blockers, iron pills, or opioid painkillers can override diet changes. Consult your doctor if you're ready to trade bloating, straining, and sluggish mornings for lightness, clarity, and predictable go time. Start the 7-day challenge tomorrow. Like this video so YouTube shows it to others drowning in fiber cereal and sugar-free gum. Comment below, I'm in ditching. Food you're quitting first. Subscribe to Constipation Health and tap the bell icon. Every week we drop new food fixes, morning routines, and gut healing science you won't hear in a doctor's office. Next up, 5 foods that fix constipation. Eat these every day. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the follow-up that completes your transformation. Remember, your colon isn't lazy. It's overloaded with the wrong inputs. Remove the blockers, provide hydration and gentle motion, and it will do what nature designed. Keep you clean, energized, and fully alive. Let's get things moving, starting now.